There is such an extreme level of calm that it makes individuals observe you as if you were from another planet. Today you will discover exactly how to get there. Have you ever observed that individual who never loses their composure? Who in the midst of total chaos, when everyone else is panicking, just takes a deep breath and resolves it? While many are sweating during an important presentation, they articulate as if they're conversing with a friend. While others are stuck in an argument, they respond with eerie calm. And you understand what individuals articulate about this category of individual? How does she manage to stay so zen? There's an ancient system created by the most legendary samurai in Japanese history that produces precisely this seemingly impossible category of serenity. Miyamoto Musashi called it Gorin no Sho, the Book of Five Rings. But it's not just a book of military strategy. It's a manual on how to transform your consciousness into an impenetrable fortress. When you understand how this system functions and apply it to your routine, you will never again lose control in a stressful situation in your existence. But there's a catch. This system isn't about relaxing and being zen. It's about something much deeper and much more powerful. It's about becoming completely unshakable. Before I demonstrate you how it functions, I invite you to subscribe to the channel, appreciate it below, and comment on a situation where you wish you'd stayed calmer under pressure. This assists the channel reach more individuals, and your feedback is important for me to improve future content. Thank you very much. Back to the video. Chapter 1. The Consciousness That Doesn't Move. The story I'm about to explain, you happen to an executive named John. John was a brilliant individual with an MBA from 2 universities, but with a challenge. Every occasion the pressure mounted. He crumbled. Presentation to the board, a shaky voice, important negotiation, a blank consciousness, conflict with the team, an emotional outburst. The pattern was always the same. Normal situation, complete confidence. First pressure, increasing anxiety. Maximum pressure, complete collapse. Then anger at oneself for having lost control again. John attempted everything. Breathing techniques, mindfulness, even therapy. Nothing functioned, because he was struggling with something he couldn't even imagine. He was attempting to control his emotions, instead of becoming someone who naturally doesn't get upset. Until the day he discovered why Miyamoto Musashi had never lost a fight in 60 duels. And it wasn't just swordsmanship. It was something much deeper, and much more remarkable. Chapter 2. The Secret of the Immortal Warrior. Musashi wrote something that transformed everything. The consciousness should be like water. When the water is calm, it reflects perfectly. When it is agitated, it cannot reflect at all. But here's what most individuals don't understand about this metaphor. He's not discussing becoming zen and relaxed. He's discussing developing what he called Fudoshin, the unshakable consciousness. In Musashi's duels, individuals expired in seconds. There were no second chances, no time to calm down, no pause for a deep breath. It was existence or death in fractions of a second. And in 60 duels, he never lost his composure once. He discovered something most consciousnesses haven't yet grasped. Pressure isn't something that happens to you. Pressure is something you create in your own consciousness. When you experience pressure, your primitive consciousness interprets it as an existence or death threat. It releases cortisol and adrenaline, preparing you to fight or flee. Your heart races, your consciousness becomes confused, and your hands tremble. You're not reacting to the genuine situation. You're reacting to what your primitive consciousness contemplates the situation is. Chapter 3. The Illusion of Pressure. John found out the hard manner. A presentation to the company's largest client, $2 million at stake, a chamber full of executives, and the minute he initiated talking, his consciousness just froze. It wasn't the presentation that was causing the pressure, it was what he contemplated about the presentation, the movie he had created in his consciousness. If I fail here, I'll be fired. Everyone will understand I'm a fraud. My career is over. This mental movie was more genuine to his consciousness than the actual situation, and his consciousness reacted as if he were being attacked by a tiger. Here is Musashi's first lesson that transforms everything. The enemy is not in front of you. The enemy is in your consciousness. When you understand that pressure is a mental construct, not an external reality, you can begin to deconstruct it. But Musashi went further. He didn't just want to manage pressure, he wanted to become immune to it. And to achieve this, he developed what he called Heijoshin, the ordinary consciousness. It sounds simple, but it's revolutionary. Chapter 4. The Ordinary Consciousness. Heijoshin means maintaining exactly the same mental state in any situation. Whether conversing with a friend or fighting for your existence, consuming coffee or presenting to a board, the consciousness doesn't transform. This doesn't mean being robotic or emotionless. It means that your center, your essence, remains unshakable regardless of what's happening around you. John began practicing this in a manner that seemed unusual at first. He chose low-pressure situations and practiced maintaining exactly the same mental state he possessed when he was alone at home. Ordering coffee at Starbucks, same breathing, same posture, same calm. Conversing with the boss, same calm. Simple negotiation, same focus. The first week was a disaster. His physical body fought against it constantly. His heart raced, his palms sweated, his voice trembled. This is normal. Your nervous system has been programmed to react to pressure for millions of years. You're reprogramming something very ancient. By the second week, something began to transform. He noticed he could maintain calm breathing for longer before the system went into alert. By the third week, he articulated at a small meeting, maintaining much the same mental state he possessed at home. The neuroscience behind it, a Stanford University neuroscientist who has been studying stress responses for 18 years, discovered something fascinating. When you consciously practice maintaining the same neurochemical state in different contexts, you literally rewrite the neural pathways responsible for the stress response. The consciousness learns that the situation is not a genuine threat. One of the mechanisms used to reprogram these neural pathways is exposure to stressful situations. You can't overcome a challenge if you don't confront it head-on. Don't worry. This doesn't mean you require departing this video and instantly confronting your challenge. You require preparing for it just as John did, training with smaller, less stressful situations. However, he understood that sooner or later he would possess to confront the demons that haunted him. Chapter 5. The Productive Void. Heijoshin was just the beginning. Musashi went further and developed the concept of mu, emptiness. And this is where it gets genuinely interesting, because it's not about emptying your consciousness of everything, it's about emptying your consciousness of the right things. John discovered this when he finally managed to give a presentation without shaking, but he recognized he was still spending too much mental energy contemplating about the presentation instead of simply presenting. Musashi wrote, "When the consciousness is filled with thoughts of fighting, there is no room for fighting." Translation: when you're contemplating about how not to get nervous, you can't focus on what genuinely matters. Musashi's emptiness isn't Zen meditation. It's a strategic cleansing of the consciousness. You remove everything that doesn't serve the present moment and leave only what's essential. John began practicing what he called mental clearing before any pressure situation. 3 simple questions. 1. What do I require accomplishing now? What do I require understanding now? How do I require being now? Anything that didn't answer these 3 questions was out of his consciousness. Worry about the outcome. Out. Fear of others' judgment. Out. Anxiety about the future. Out. All that remained was the task, the necessary understanding, and the ideal mental state. Chapter 6. The Invisible Preparation. But here began the genuine challenge. Even with Heijoshin and Mu, John still experienced like he was fighting something every occasion the pressure came on. It was as if he was forcing himself to be calm instead of naturally being calm. It was then that he discovered Musashi's third principle: the battle is won before it begins. Musashi never entered a duel expecting to prepare immediately. All the preparation happened beforehand, long beforehand. By the occasion the sword was drawn, he was already mentally in a state of victory. John recognized he was attempting to calm himself during pressure situations. It never functions. Once the adrenaline has already spiked, once the cortisol has flooded his system, once his heart is racing, it's too late to attempt to control his reaction. Genuine preparation happens in the pressure-free moments. He began what he called ghost training. Every day for 20 minutes, he mentally simulated pressure situations and practiced maintaining the Heijoshin and Mu states. Big presentation subsequent week. Every day he visualized himself walking into the chamber, initiating to articulate, taking difficult questions, all while maintaining exactly the same mental state he'd possessed while consuming coffee at home. Why this works? The consciousness doesn't distinguish perfectly between genuine experience and vividly imagined experience. When the genuine situation arrived, it wasn't the first occasion he'd experienced it. Mentally, he'd already experienced it hundreds of occasions. Chapter 7. The Unshakable Center. Sixth week of practice. The ultimate test arrived. Presentation to the board of directors, 15 executives, a $5 million project. If it failed, there was no going back. John walked into the chamber, and something happened he'd never experienced previously. He experienced at home. Not nervous, not confident, not anxious, just present, like he was in his kitchen making a snack. The presentation flowed smoothly. Difficult questions came, and he answered them as naturally as he would answer about the weather. Aggressive questions arose, but he handled them as if it were a casual conversation. At the conclusion, one of the directors articulated something that transformed his perspective forever. "John, your calm is intimidating." Intimidating. Not impressive. Not admirable. Intimidating. When your serenity makes others uncomfortable, you understand you're operating at the correct level. Because there's something about genuine calm that individuals can't process. Most individuals are so accustomed to their own mental turmoil that when they observe someone genuinely serene, it exposes their inner chaos. Their peace becomes a mirror of their own uncontrollability. And that's where you discover the genuine power of Musashi's system. Chapter 8. The Secret Weapon. Musashi understood something most individuals will never understand. Calm is not passivity. Calm is power. When you don't react emotionally to provocations, pressure, or attacks, you force others to demonstrate their cards first. They reveal their strategies, their weaknesses, their fears, while you remain a closed book. In negotiations, this is devastating. The other party becomes desperate to get a reaction from you. They make increasingly aggressive offers, reveal information they shouldn't, and make mistakes they wouldn't make around someone who's visibly nervous. John discovered this when he began using calm as a strategy. A client attempting to pressure him, he simply listened. He didn't agree. He didn't disagree. He just absorbed everything, maintaining his unshakable center. The pressure they exerted returned to themselves. It's like attempting to push against a wall. All the force returns to the one pushing. Months later, he was known around the company as the individual who never loses his composure. Months later, he was promoted. A year later, he was running the company's most important division. Not because he was smarter than the others, because he had become unshakable. Chapter 9. The Complete System. The Gorin no-show system that John followed possessed 5 elements developed by Musashi. 1. Earth, Heijoshin, ordinary consciousness. Same mental state always, regardless of circumstances. 2. Water, Mu, productive emptiness. Consciousness clear of everything unnecessary. Fire, ghost preparation. Mental training accomplished before the genuine battle. Wind, reading the environment. Observe without reacting emotionally. 5. Emptiness, unshakable center identity that does not move. Each element builds upon the previous. You don't skip steps. You don't go straight to the void without mastering the ordinary consciousness. You don't develop the unshakable center without first clearing your consciousness of the unnecessary. It took John 6 months to fully integrate the 5 elements. But when this transformation was complete, individuals literally initiated treating him differently. Colleagues inquired him for advice on how to handle pressure. Bosses placed him in the toughest situations because they understood he wouldn't break. Clients respected him in a manner they never possessed previously. The neuroscience of authority, a behavioral psychologist at Harvard University who has studied leadership under pressure for 15 years, explains, there's a specific neurological quality in individuals who maintain genuine calm under stress. They literally emit different neurological signals that other consciousnesses interpret as authority and trustworthiness. It's a primal response. We follow those who remain calm in the confront of chaos. The transformation, the Gorin no-show system, won't make you a more relaxed individual. It'll make you a different individual, someone others will observe and contemplate. How can she stay so calm? When you implement the 5 rings, ordinary consciousness, productive emptiness, phantom preparation, non-reactionary reading, unshakable center, You're not just managing pressure, you're becoming someone who is naturally immune to it. And when that happens, when that transformation is complete, you'll discover something Musashi understood 400 years ago. Genuine power doesn't come from reacting to pressure. It comes from being so centered that the pressure simply slides correctly off you. The question remains, do you want this level of serenity? Because it's not about relaxation techniques, it's about death and rebirth, the death of your reactive self, the birth of your unshakable self. The Goran no-show system won't teach you how to handle pressure. It will turn you into someone who possesses no control over pressure. And when you reach that point, when individuals initiate articulating your calm is intimidating, you'll understand you finally grasped the secret Musashi immortalized in his writings. Serenity is not a state of consciousness, it's a manner of being. Final thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, I invite you to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell so you don't miss future content. And explain me in the comments, what pressure situation do you most want to master using the Goran no-show system? Remember, the calm that intimidates others is the only calm worth possessing. If you've observed this far, thank you very much for your attention. Observe you in the subsequent video.